Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Dr. Linda's show. Today, we are going to be talking about why female founders with cross cultural roots are the new powerhouses to watch. All right. And with me here is someone who has experience living in two different worlds, currently in Canada, previously in China. And so over to you, Rebecca. Please introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm so honored to be here, and my name is Rebecca Lee, and I have to say my life was more looks like a heart monitor. There are a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of expectations versus. So when I was in China, I was high school almost drop off, but 7 years later, when I was in Canada, I graduated from the top university, University of Toronto, with degree in psychology, nutrition, and statistics. And after graduated, one time I become the IT product manager in China, and then I was IT founder of a digital marketing agency. And next year I become jobless, and the years after I become B2B product manager in recruitment industry. So there's a lot of change, and there are too many diversity experience. But like Steve Jobs said in 2005 speech, he said like there are so many dots which are our experience, and we never can connect them forward, only backward. And I believe Moricat is the connecting line. So
Wow. that's that's a wonderful introduction. And also taking us through, like, you can see that you work here, you go here, you go here. So you have had that diverse experience living in two different places, and um, I'm sure that's going to come in handy for as you answer all the questions I have for you today. And for those that are watching, so I have lots of questions. But first of all, we start by understanding Rebecca's brand, which is Moricat. And from there, we dive more into the topic for the day, which is why female founders with cross cultural roots are the new powerhouses to watch. And if you have a question as we are talking, feel free to drop it as a comment. I will see those questions and I'll be able to ask her your question. And if you are listening or watching as a replay, do stay to the end so that you see the questions other people asked, right? And the answers that they received. Well, so let's dive into it. What's the story behind Moricat, and how did your love for animals become the spark for a wearable pet brand?
so first of all, like both my partner Shirley and I are cat lover and cat owner for decades. So during the ownership or parentship, so we found out a lot of cat accessory are genetic and dog first, and lack of personalization. Of course, there are some outlier, but the pricing is also too expensive. So
Mm.
this is kind of the reason why Shirley and I really want to have a new brand to exclusively for cats. And it should be scientific backed, and it should be affordable and joyful.
That's awesome. Okay, so what has for example, for those who haven't experienced Moricat yet, maybe they've not bought products from the brand. What makes your product not just cute but meaningful for pet owners?
So this is the picture in my mind. Like after you have a very long day, exhausting working day, you go home, open the door, your cute little baby already waiting you at the entrance, and tails up and purring. So this is the moment you pick up the toy and play with it. No matter it's a her or him or she or they. So only maybe after 5 minutes, all the stress build up and your cats feel satisfied. So this is bring to what we really want to focus to deeply connect the cat owner and their babies, and more like a parentship. So,
Mm,
we really want to high quality spending instead of putting a lot of money, effort. But yeah.
mm. I get you. So, what products does the brand offer?
So currently we mainly offer three type of products, but actually it's maybe similar things. So this is called modular color. So it looks like a color, but with a magnetic attached to the middle.
Mm.
And yeah, we have the model. So this is the charm, and you can easily put it on or remove it and switch to other things because it's so
Mm.
easy, so it won't impact on the cast. And you can decorate it or use it as a toy. So
Mm.
cat can play with it or wear it. And also for this one, we call it a wearable cat toy. It's made by wool. So a lot of cat owners have painful experience is bring the cat to the vet and they feel super anxious or stressful. So if you touch the wool to the collar and spray some pheromone, it can because it's attached to the neck. So the cat feel much more better instead of you put it on your back everywhere and still when the cat go to the vet, they feel anxious. So this is
Mm.
the things we really want to help the cat owner also, because the charm has the magnetic, the cats play the toy all the time, and sometimes it will hide it in the corner. You can use anything, metal things to take it off. And usually you can just put it on the refrigerator, so you don't need to actual storage.
Oh, that's unique. How did you come across like how did you come up with the idea?
To be honest, personally, as I mentioned, Shirley and I are cat owner ourselves. So we, all the products, firstly, need to be used by ourselves and our babies. So we extremely care about the safety and we let the real cats test it out. And also, like, we went to 7 times last year. We went to 7 times product testing offline, online. I also read code to querying all the products on the Chinese market as well as Amazon, Etsy to figure out the preferences in here. This is maybe something you may ask a question later, but I do find out there are some preferences differences.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Before you started this brand, you also had a cat calf before now, right? So
Mhm.
I see that there's that you staying in that cat's lane and all of that. So my question for you is, um, you have experienced that different culture dealing with cat things from China and Canada. What did launching that cat calf in China teach you about business that textbook simply can't?
Um, I think maybe not only for China, because I do find out there are some cultural differences, but there are also some commons. So the common things, because it's applicable to the people here as well as don't think too much, just
Hmm.
do it. Like before the live stream, we had a short conversation about taking action, learn whatever you learned, and then quickly
Mm-hmm.
make it applicable and actionable.
Mm-hmm. I get you. So, some of the questions I want to ask you next, they are more like questions that draw from your background because I see that
Yeah.
even aside questions about the cross cultural thing, you have also had like different
Hmm.
worked in different areas. But just like what you said at the beginning, right? You
Hmm.
said Moricat is that thing that that have connected your
Yeah.
experiences. But that's such a, I told you that was such a good way to describe it because that was what I noticed too, right?
Hmm.
So, for example, you had product management background
Hmm.
where I know of somebody that studied product management. I know that it also had to look into product design. Is it
Yeah.
fitting with the brand? Or even if you're adding another product, is it matching with the legacy? there are products you add and it won't even work for your brand. There are products you add and it will do well, stuff like that. So that's why when I saw that, oh, you had product management background, I was like, hmm, I'm sure there must have been something you picked from there that have
Mhm.
shaped your mind today as a founder. So
Yeah,
that's my question. What
sure.
has your product management background? How has it helped you? How has it helped to shape your mindset today as a founder?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for clarifying the question. So it definitely helped. Like I mentioned, we had a 7 round product testing last year, and both online and offline. This is totally from my product management experience. It's called iteration mindset.
Hmm.
And also related to my previous question, just to do it, don't overthinking it, because I do notice a lot of female entrepreneur and also the people who start their own business always thinking too much. What if? What if it doesn't work? What if it does work? These thinking block their mind, or a lot of perfectionism people. They are always trying to waiting, so
Mhm.
waiting the perfect time. But the product management experience teach me, don't think, test it. So we call it minimal viable products. So for this one, it's not our modular color or wearable cat toy is not perfect. So this is my mission this year, to do a lot of real product testing. So sorry, everyone who interested in product testing, please follow us on social media, or kind of subscribe to help me to make it happen. Back to our topic. So it's not perfect, but I quickly made it happen. Most of the product are handmade by Shirley and I, and we need to make it looks like a product. Go to the pop-up market and see what's the people's feedback. Some may say, "Oh, I like it." Some people say, "No." Then I need to run online testing and to gather more quantitative information to figure out what, and then go to the offline to interview the individual, ask why. So this is definitely some I learned from my products management experience.
Mm, that's good. That's good. Okay, so you have another experience that I want to ask you, especially the what you are bringing from there now into Moricat. You co-founded a digital marketing agency here in Canada, right? So what has you co-founding and running that digital marketing agency, how has it helped you today as a founder?
Yeah, so that experience I co-founded with 2 other people, and we mainly focused on cross-culture clients. So basically, we help the Chinese clients to promote product in North American, and help the Canadian business owner to promote among the Chinese communities. Because I think this is our other one advantage. And
Mhm.
one of our well-known client are ByteDance. So I need to kind of bluff out a little bit. Like my co-founder and I, only 3 people, we helped the ByteDance to successfully recruited 2,000 content creator
Wow.
within about 2 months with 2,000 budget.
Hmm. That's
So
2,000 content creators.
yeah.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, so I don't have like a formal digital marketing. No, I need to rephrase this. So usually, the digital marketer, they have their way, or um, standard way to do the marketing. But for me, I never kind of focused on one platform. I
Mm,
always focused on people. So the first thing I did is I need to know who are the target audience for the brand or for the products,
mm,
to find the mutual benefits. The product can bring the benefit solving the problem for the target audience. And I need to figure out who they are, where are they, what they like. Then I will pick the platform to do the marketing. So this is the way how I work. And for the ByteDance, we also follow the same way. We kind of focused on university first, university student, because Chinese at that time TikTok is not that well known.
Mhm.
So we need to, but it's well known in China. So we need to leverage um, their name, and to a lot of university students, they care about job opportunity. So I negotiate with the ByteDance to say, would you mind give some internship opportunity? Of course, they'd love to, because they also need to pay a lot of money to recruit students. And for the student, they want to work for ByteDance.
Mhm.
So we use that as the hooker to use a very low price to promote the product and the campaign.
Wow. This is really good because when you say, "Oh, I look at the people," and then you went on to explain, like you explaining it, it makes it so easy. But what is so hard is coming up with the idea in the first place. And just like what you're saying, is like, okay, offer some internship opportunities. That means people are going to reach out. People are going to want to apply for this internship opportunity. Then they're also going to see, oh, there's an opportunity for you to even use this, or maybe get on TikTok, promote products, even TikTok pay like creators based on views and all of that. They can even start with that before internship opportunity comes up. So it's like perfect synergy.
Yeah, so a lot of my time is working on understand the product before working for the clients. So I do a lot of research to understand their mission vision, why they produce this campaign or this product, then understand what their target audience, why they decided these are their target audience.
Mm,
I think after you understand the basic,
mhm.
uh, everything is makes sense.
Wow. Wow. If an entrepreneur is listening now and they're like, well, I would like to learn more about how to do this marketing. Maybe they don't have a large team, right? And they're just looking at, okay, what can I do? How can I improve my marketing? Is there resources or a book or something you will refer them to, that you can refer them to say, oh, maybe learn more here?
Um, I think there are a lot of books. Like I have a very weird learning path. Like for instance, if I really want to learn marketing, I cannot read marketing books. I need to learn a lot of things from other subjects. Like I understand product from um, like I think I understand the marketing or IT um, the leverage is sorry, I kind of understand how marketing works, like the one I introduced the mindset from philosophy books when I was at school. And I learned how to do products, or how to design product from IT development things. So it's connected somehow, but still, like when I reading the product, when I apply product manager position, I read a lot of product management books, but I feels like I'm still lost. I don't understand how it works. But when I learned XR, which is virtual reality development certificate,
Mhm,
I need to write the code by myself. I I need to do everything from scratch. I need to write the code. I need to design the thing. Suddenly, everything become much more better. And now I become a founder.
mhm.
I kind of understand why my previous job application fails, because I switch my side from the higher uh, people's perspective.
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 Mhm.
Yes.
Wow.
So sorry, back to your question. I do feels like doing, like no matter what, try your best, um, and do your test. For instance, like no matter I said my vision, mission, a lot of people may have a misconception like as a small business or as a startup, you need to have a final version, mission vision. But what I told my team or my business partner, the mission maybe only work for 1 year, because we need to keep it improvement or iterate it. We never know where we're gonna go until we go there.
Mm,
So I would like people to use the money and the time to do the product testing, then maybe find a book you may align with, then go through and see which part you do it right and which part you didn't think of it, and the book maybe help you. So
mm.
this is the way how I read books.
Yeah, you've mentioned it, the iteration, yeah, iteration mindset, right? Instead of
Yeah,
just like, okay, this is where I'm going and I have to get there, because if there are things you missed along the way, then you're going to take 1 year, 2 years before you start exploring those things, because you are so focused on going to where your already crafted vision on paper or with
yeah.
ink is taking you. Okay. Um. So okay, I get you. Now let's look at the actual idea of enrolling those 2,000 persons, right? The question I have right now is, how is what skill are you taking from there to help you get testers? Like, what is the transferable skill you are getting from that, being able to enroll? Like, how are you applying it towards getting people to test your product?
Um, I think need to I have a standard for not only myself, but also my team. If you don't feel proud of your products, don't show me.
Mm,
And same to me, like if I don't like my product, I will not launch it or trying to sell it. So be sim so back to your question, I need to think this is fun because I feels like every people, no matter how old we are, there's still a child inside.
mm,
This is how Disney is so popular because we all, and also Halloween. This is also my favorite festival
mm,
because in that specific scenario or day, we can back to our childhood. We can pretend we
mm,
are someone, or maybe that's the real us.
mhm,
In daily life, we need to pretend something else.
mhm,
So yeah, I need to make sure this is fun and this is very at least look cute and also solving some problem. So people will more willing to try it out. And if they think it's useful, wonderful. If not, tell me. I will make it much more better next
mm,
time.
mm. Okay. So, of course, we've talked about your experience from China, from Canada. So, how has your cross cultural lens helped you to see opportunities that others might miss?
Mhm. Um, I think understand the culture is definitely something important.
Mm,
This is from my previous working experience when I owned my own digital marketing agency. Like I mentioned, I'm helping the Chinese clients to promote in here. I have to say there are a lot of wonderful products, but they always failed in North America because they use the same promotion strategy in China instead of understand what's happening here.
mm,
So same to the local people, they may have some perspective like about how Chinese community looks like, but either they don't have the um, experience or the fortune to fully, I cannot understand like people have a busy life. Sometimes even though we really want to, but we may don't have the fortune to spend time to fully understand the community.
mm,
So the culture, you understand why this has happened instead of just judging. Oh, this type of people are looking like this type. For instance, you had a hard or bad experience with one Chinese, you will say, oh, all Chinese are bad. No, every country have good person, bad person, polite person, rude
mhm,
person.
mhm,
So try not take these stereotype and apply it to all.
mm,
I think because you always are switching or living in different culture, it kind of help you to step back. when you trying to stereotype certain kind of people, you force yourself, no, 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 I need to step back and thinking one more time. Is that real or not?
Mm,
And also another thing I think is super helpful is don't make judge by yourself. Look at some data because data have no emotion. Human
mm.
have emotion. So, but we do need to promote our product with emotion. So usually I need to collect a lot of code data to help me make certain selection. Then I will bring my emotion to fully understand why behind those code data.
Cool. So two things I picked from there is that culture is important. And so let me say this. It's what you said, but I'm flipping it now. The way we will say, oh, if somebody wants to enter a new market, if you understand culture is important, then you're going to also try to understand those people's culture. Because I think that sometimes, perhaps, an immigrant founder may also see themselves struggling with their business idea because they've created this business and they're trying to market it to, let's just say, people who are currently living in Canada right now, for example. The same way they market it, they know how to market it from their own country, and they were like, I've tried my best, and this product is not working. That means this product is not good. But it could be because the product is good, but you've not figured out the
And
cultural piece to it.
mhm,
So it's like, if we from what you are saying, culture is important. Is to understand that, they will say, when you're in Rome, you behave like the Romans. It's like to see, okay, wherever I am right now, how do I
mhm,
understand the culture of those persons when it
mhm.
comes as it regards to my products, and when it comes to marketing to them.
Yeah, I have like a quick actionable solution and a long-term solution,
Okay.
and the one cheaper and one expensive. So for the cheaper and the quickly actionable one is making some Chinese friends. For instance, you want to do Chinese market. And when you do or preparing promoted among those community, ask your friends and or you can hire, this is a kind of expensive one, hire the local, not local, but people who grow in that community.
Mhm.
So this is a much more expensive but reliable way. This is what I learned when I was at school. I helped a female entrepreneur community. So that's the largest Chinese community in North America. uh, I interviewed like a lot of about 20 female professional who date North American partner.
Mhm.
So one of the interviewer told me what's the culture differences. So for our Chinese, we have our favorite singer, and when the serum comes out, we have some common memory. This is something not related to the um, language as an experience. So
Mm,
the experience shaping how you thinking and understand things. For instance, when I promote, even though maybe I'm not native speaker and my experience, my language may be limited, but if I grow up here, I know the background, like the popular song, the popular things, the important events, I still can do the very good marketing. I can pick the right words.
mm,
So people will quickly think the emotion I'm trying to let them know. But even though I'm a very fluent English speaker, I have no that experience. It's really hard to touch their points. So
mm,
this is the important things I learned from my previous experience.
mm. Which is why you talked about that, making local friends, and or which is like a cheaper version, or hiring a local person if you're trying to promote. It may look expensive, but it will help you to cut through the cultural barriers, even
Yeah,
just to understand it, right? Like just to understand it.
yeah, like you can make a friends. You can just pump up and ask some Chinese people if you are a very outgoing people because
Mm.
that doesn't work for me. But it is a solution. Or
Mhm.
you can hire people because the experience cannot fake up.
I get you. All right. So um this is similar to the one I asked you before, but okay, let me ask you something else. What are some qualities that female founders with cross-cultural roots naturally develop that make them stand out in today's business world?
Um, I can't speak to other Chinese entrepreneur, but I do notice, like I mentioned, a lot of Chinese female entrepreneur, they are afraid to stand out. They feel free of, they have a lot of fear to promote themselves. They may feel like, oh, my English is not fluent enough. I'm not good enough. So they always waiting and hardworking. And for Chinese, but it also depends on generation because I do notice the Gen Z in China become much more like the North American Gen Z. They are more common than differences. So they are more willing to stand out and speak for themselves and tell tell people what real Chinese looks like. It's not some. Okay, back to the story. You may have a wrong impression about these type of people.
Mm, I get you. So okay, so let me ask you about the advantages that cross-cultural background played in establishing your brand in terms of production costs, expansion, and distribution. And I'm asking this because earlier on you talked about okay, seeing some um good or exceptional pet brands, but they also were expensive, and so you were looking for something that was maybe lower cost but still quality. So, do you think that your experience from Chinese has helped you in any way in bringing the cost of your production lower?
I think most of people when heard this question may thinking of Chinese manufacturing because we do have a lot of products, and they may thinking if you are Chinese, you will get a cheaper price. But to be honest, because Shirley and I are not from the pet industry, it also takes us a lot of time to find a good manufacturer or good suppliers. So this part is not the advantage. But I do notice the globalization had a lot of impact on today's e-commerce or any business. So I thinking of each country is more like people. So
Mm,
each people has their advantage and disadvantage. So if you want to find some standardized and very quick productions products, like I need a product tomorrow, you can always find Chinese or Indians to bring to make it happen. But in
mhm,
here, because most of people are more focused on work-life balance, maybe they don't want working overtime to make to quickly produce the product for you. And um, I think it's not about language is more about if you have the working experience in certain country. So this is also one of my future plan. I really want to travel other, not travel, but kind of short time living in other places to better understand what's this country's advantage. And then I maybe utilize this country's advantage. For instance, one of we kind of know like a wool is more famous in Australia or sorry, I cannot remember another country is famous for the wool. So I definitely want to live and travel in that places and better understand which part is better. And I also want to compare to the Canadian local made wool to compare because I think business is more like a sustainable things. I take a lot of things from Canada. I
mhm,
need to give it back.
mm,
Maybe is I need to find a balance, like to utilize the Canadians' advantage not like, oh, I need to give it back, so I need to hire everyone from Canadian or local. That will brings up my price. Actually, if I bring up the price, I need to charge my customer more. So it's a negative loop. I'm
Mm,
trying to better understand what's the best quality the
mm,
customer really want, and I need to find out where I can find those people or those resources and make it together. If I can survive, I always can give back to the Canada and helping other, then it's still I'm helping here.
mhm. I get your point. And just like what you're saying, there are ways to add to the economy where you are that even that economy is still going to benefit from, let's say, a very good and wonderful product that is at a lower cost compared to maybe competitors, right? Because even Canadians have lots of pets. Yeah. And just being able to buy something for your pet that is high quality and lower price, I believe everyone is going to appreciate it even in today's economy, right? So yeah. And then just like what you're saying, if you're able to compare products, if the one here is cheaper, then you go with it, right? So I get it. All right. The Let's see. One moment. Um, is there a moment where you felt underestimated because of your cultural background?
Sorry.
Is there Has there been any moment where you felt underestimated because of your cultural background?
Underestimated.
Hmm.
I think all the time because um like I s- a lot of people give me the advice. I do well working on my English, spoken English, because I worked in China for 2 and 3 years. I didn't speak English in that time, so I kind of got how to speak English. So when I do my business speech, when I talking to people, um, a lot of people said, "Hey, you need to working on your spoken." But in my I think it's important because that's branding. I presented Moricat, I need to be professional, but this is not the most important at the moment for me. I need to make sure the products bring value, solving real problem to my customers. If I make it happen, I don't think they really care my spoken. And I think this is also something a lot of female entrepreneur or female professional that feels, oh, I'm not good enough in certain part, so I shouldn't speak up or seize the opportunity. No, I feels like you need to try your best to grab whatever you have and learn from your experience.
Mm, yeah. And to keep, it's like, even if somebody feels like, okay, maybe they are feeling that way, my English is not perfect, but to move forward despite that feeling as well, right? Because it's like, maybe we can't prevent somebody from feeling that way, but one thing is that that person can still move forward. For the person to, you can move forward, go to that pitch, present your thing, just like what you're also saying. Sometimes you are so worried with, let's say somebody is worried with your English that they don't even apply to go pitch. Meanwhile, maybe an investor is looking for a product that has good margin they can put in stores, and should they see that product from your presentation, they won't worry so much about the English. They may not even need you to be the one going to go and sell the product. So if you hold yourself back because of something you are worried about that an investor may not even worry about, or a client may not even worry about, that's like holding yourself back by yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when I was at school, I have a very serious anxiety issue because I feels like I'm not always meet my own standard. So I'm not satisfied with myself. But then I learned uh, you don't just to make sure you're better than yesterday. So
Mhm.
this is what I tell my team and my business partner. We can make mistake, but you need to make sure you learn something from the mistake and you always better than yesterday. Then after maybe a month or a year, you will find out, oh my God, I already like grow much more better than I expect.
Mm-hmm. True. Okay. What is a common myth or assumption people make about immigrant founders that you will love to permanently erase if you had that power?
I maybe not cannot speak for other immigrants, but I do notice a lot of people think Chinese are good at math. I'm not. So I can understand, I can pass on my math courses, but I do that by doing a lot of homework. I truly don't understand what's happening here. And sometimes while playing cards with my friends, I miscalculated the cards, so the whole game messed up. So this is some back to your story. I feels like one misconception, maybe not only for the immigrants, but for other people, they feel disadvantaged. But as we discussed in the past, your culture, your background, your experience can bring some value. So every experience have two sides. We always looking at, hey, I'm new here. I don't understand how this world or this country work out. No, no need to worry about it. You can learn.
Mm,
But your big experience, because Canada or US is an immigrant country, so at least you understand your people,
mhm,
a group of people, much more better than the people who grow up here.
mhm.
So trying to focus on your advantage, leverage it instead of thinking and focused on your disadvantages.
I get it. Have there been times when you felt pressure to conform to local norms?
Um, I think I do have some pressure, like from my father is a very traditional person, so he really hope I can like traditional way getting married and having kids, and he just hope I can be happy. He doesn't really care about if I have a career or not. But my mom is a more like modern parent, so she knows I really want to have something to pursue. So, but I do notice not it's not only the culture thing. A lot of people believe if you're a woman, you need to consider family, have a baby, or at a certain age. Or if it's not, then you maybe fall behind or you are kind of abnormal.
Hmm.
But I feels like everyone have their own journey. We may, I'm not saying it's impossible for me to have those kind of traditional life, but I'm
Mm,
not ready for it. I have my own pace. I want to focus on my baby or cat first. Then I have more time and effort. Maybe have the human baby, and also I have my cat baby, so I feel satisfied every day.
yeah, I get it. Like, like what you just shared now, it also has a lot to, like, it says a lot too about your mindset and your abilities, like, irrespective of what is happening around you, you still find that internal anchor or pillar to say, okay, yeah, these are the things that are happening around me, putting that pressure, but this is what I want. It's like you also make up your own mind, right? Is there, so for people who may feel pressure to conform to different norms, be it as an entrepreneur conforming to local norms, like, do you have any words for them or advice?
I learned a kind of lesson, but I didn't master it, but I think super helpful. If you want something, you never should care about it. If I want friends, I cannot always please and fall behind my friends. It's kind of make me annoyed when you find your own balance. Actually, you are attracting people who like you,
Mm,
become your friends. And when you really focused on money, I want to making money, it make you short-sighted and you will make a lot of mistake.
Mm.
Actually, you cannot make money. You just focused on what you want. Because to be honest, I mentioned the social norm. I used to think I need to follow the standard because I go to school late. I fall behind my other peers. I had a lot of pressure from myself. I always want to catch up my peers' steps. So I kind of spent like years to overcome those things. Like the one I shared, everyone have their own steps, own phases. Don't try to compare with others. And some people they may have more pressure than I do. So I only can share them like try to find the balance, the inner peace in your comfortable way.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't know. I was having this call. Just give me a moment.
I can also drink a water.
That's good. Sorry.
No
I
worries.
don't I don't know where that cough. Maybe because I've been talking and I didn't drink water. Okay. Yeah. I got what you were saying about like people, and the pressure and how you also were able to find your own center, and also talking about like um if you feel like following other people and you're just like rushing towards them, you may end up not being able to get that. And when you find your own center, you end up attracting people. Okay. So let's look at transferable skills. Um, so earlier when we had conversation, we talked about there was a time where you designed psychological testing for people on a reality TV show, right? So, and I know you have also mentioned something about cat behavior and all of that. So I wanted to ask you what transferable skill that psychological testing design uh, has, like, have you been able to bring to building Moricat?
Um, I think the short answer is no, uh, but one the common part or the transferable skill is always um bringing values. So when I designed the psychological test for the variety show, it's not for the test. It's not the scientific the way to better understand those athletes. It's more about the show. So this is something you need to fully understand.
Mm,
That's why I am more focused on the entertainment part. Let everyone have fun. So having fun is more and more topic, and the esport athlete kind of experience something different, so everyone are happy. If long term ago when I was at school as a research assistant, I mean more like, no, this is not reliable. This is not scientific enough. We need to do that. No, that's not the point. And for Moricat, um, it's not for Moricat, but for digital marketing. I do notice there are so many talented people. They are so knowledgeable, but they are not good at social media because they didn't try to understand what audience really want. They
mm.
only want to tell people what they want to tell. So that's also some people fail their business. they they just don't want to give what they want to give instead of better understand what their audience or their customer really want.
I get that. So in terms of testing, right? Like, so for example, you talked about maybe people wanting to talk or instead of trying to understand. What are the steps you can take to get to understand your audience better?
um I think my step firstly, always do some research. So it's more like you need to have use the marketing term as demographic. So is that girl or guys? It's not, or is that younger or older? Because for different people, we may use different type of language. For young people, we need to use emoji, we need to use the slangs, but for the professional people, we need to also use the kind of professional written language. So you need to have a big uh, or frame what kind of people you are looking for. And next step is trying to relate it, those type of virtual people to your uh, reality, because human cannot understand abstract things. So if I said, hey, we are looking for some people 25 to 40 years old, highly educated, or she like cats, etc. things, you still have no idea who this person looks like. But I may say, hey, Taylor Swift, the cat lady type of person. You fully, you can quickly understand, oh, who you're talking to. And I definitely have some friends looks alike or mind more man-side like
Mm,
Taylor Swift. Then you can understand, oh, I need to how to write or design the image or the product assets. So we need to be specific and concept instead of giving a lot of abstract information.
mm, I get you. And there have been times where maybe you hear some people still on this whole testing thing. I was talking to an entrepreneur recently, and she mentioned something like all the data is sort of pointing to um a particular thing, right? And then but in reality, you go out and you design that product, and then people are not buying. So, and then we're having that conversation about how do you actually understand? And it's not like they've not been doing research or iterating, right? Like you iterate and somebody say, "Oh, yeah, this is the features I want. This is what I would like," right? And then you go in and build it and you launch, and then you're not getting the customers and this back and forth. So for somebody who is caught in that back and forth, data is saying people need this. Reality is people are not buying it after you have designed it. What else? Like, what advanced thing can they do?
Yeah, so that's a famous uh, like in marketing, they said customer don't want faster horse, they need a faster cars. So this is what happened in marketing. Like some people interview and ask people, do you want a faster do you want a car? People have no idea what is car. They said, no, I need a faster horse. But in the reality, people don't care about the transporting who which things transport them from A to B. They just want to be there as fast as possible. So this is related to the data. Try not to look at the I can't remember. I read it from a book. It's called sorry, I can't remember the phrase, but main idea is don't try to understand why you want to looking at this data. For instance, if I'm selling my products, I shouldn't look at my followers. It's kind of related to my products, but is not actually bring people. They may like my content, they may like my design. It doesn't mean they are my target audience. So no matter how high these followers, if they don't buy, then that means my product has something need to improve, or there are something we need to improve. So carefully choose the metrics or the data you are looking at and figure out why you look at it. This is the data part. And for the human part, try to understand why they say certain things in certain way. This is also a challenge for myself because Canadian, they are super polite. They are so nice. They always tells you this is perfect. But for me, like no matter how many good words you say, do you want to buy it? and how much you're willing to pay it. This is
Mm,
the key parts I need to know.
mm,
If they don't want to pay it, that means I didn't catch their needs or I didn't provide the value they really want to get.
mm. I get you. Like choosing the metrics to focus on, like talking about like who is buying and how much are they willing to pay. If that's your metrics, that means if somebody is not buying, we've not gotten it right. I get you. Okay, so let's look at so let me ask you a question that is a bit off. Like we talked about some books, and you recommended a book before, and
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you recommended that book. I've bought it. I've read it. So for entrepreneurs, do you have any book to recommend for entrepreneurs?
Mm, I think there are so many books,
Mhm.
but for
Three,
instance,
three
okay.
books you recommend for entrepreneurs.
Uh-huh. So first the book I actually also mentioned on my LinkedIn is Financial Tool for Canadian Small and Medium Business Owner. I'm not exactly sure if it's the right exactly same the name, but that book kind of tell me in different stage what kind of money resource you can get. Like when I just start my business, I actually spend a lot of time to preparing like business speech or trying to apply the government funding. But with that book, I understand, okay, with current stage, my business not qualify. Then no matter how hard I try, it's impossible to help me to get those kind of money. So I think that book is super helpful because it's a list different type of money and tell you what they are um, looking for. And so you can save your time and effort to focus on the money you can actually get.
Mm,
And another one is virtual technology, how to uh, uh, still, I'm really hard to remember the exact name, but basically it's a virtual persuasion. So that book, because in current modern society, especially the social media, people's attention span is so short. So no matter as in the in a professional environment, you need to do the presentation, or like as entrepreneur, you need to quickly grab their attention. Especially we have so many things want to tell, and visual is always better than the text only. So that will kind of tell you the color, the super basic but important thing, how to utilize the color, how to make things, how the whole layout work, a little bit of information about fountain. Because for entrepreneur, I'm not talking about those experienced one or have a lot of money. For most of small business owner or entrepreneur, we don't have so much money, don't have so many professional effort. So a lot of things you need to do it by yourself. Even though you have money, you need to quickly find out who are the true helper, who instead of those talker, they said they can do a lot of things, but they can't. So you need to quickly gather the basic information.
mm,
Then you can find out who are the people who actually can help you. So I think that will cover most of the important things. And I read um, and not the last book. uh, I think it's Cass. I read a lot of Cass books. So one of the books called Cass, and even though I mentioned I was a cat owner for decades and I read a lot of information, but it's really hard for me to find a reliable, readable books, not the textbook, either the textbook or there are too many um, repeating contents, but the book called Cats actually helped me quickly understand the background of cat and some interesting part like their personality, their behavioral issue, and I use the references as my standing point to find a more reliable resource to further study about the cats. And at one point, I think many people may be feel surprised. Even the vets, some of them don't understand cats because when they at school, they need to study so many animals at the same time.
Mm,
So actually, they don't understand. Most of them understand dog more than cats or other animals.
mm.
So that books actually is a very readable, no matter you're a cat owner or you're just interested in cats.
Okay. So I wrote down the name Financial Tools for Canadian Small and Medium Business Owners, and then Virtual Persuasion.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the best uh, piece of business advice you've received, and how did it change your perspective?
Mm, I think I received so many good advice. Um, mm, I can't recall
It's okay.
specific. I can't recall specific one because I feel so fortunate to receive so many helps from so many generous people. I This is the part I really like Canada. Like I may not know that person really well, and they made a lot of mistake, use their effort, use their money, and they are willing to share their experience to me. So this is the part I feel so fortunate. I don't need to make the same mistake again with
Mhm.
my money and my time. But one piece of advice, I don't want to repeat myself,
It's
but just
okay. It's
try
okay.
to take action. Don't wait.
I see. Okay. So what role has friendship played in building Morikat with your co-founder?
Yeah. So Shirley, she is wonderful. She is one of my best friend. We know each other for decades. So we are good friends since the school. And I think I tease her, she is my business wife. She always support me, and we have a very aligned vision. So she appreciates my hardworking, and I mentioned I'm very easy to be nervous. She is the balance. She
Mm.
always can cool me down. So I'm the working hard one. We need to go 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 go. She was like, let's chill
Mm.
out. We need to slow down. So we kind of balance each other, and still we are trying to learn from each other, helping each other grow. There's um, yeah, we are almost, she just be Canada, and we are planning to move in together, so it's much more easier to improve the efficiency. So I
Mm.
think we can learn more from each other because even though you are good friends for years, but it's totally different when you do business together.
Mhm. True. Okay. What's your vision for Morikats in the next 5 years?
We have two visions. One is for official, the Moricat one, and another is more like personalized between Shirley and I. For Moricat, we really want to deeper the cat lovers and their cats from a more joyful way. So in short, we design for cats but loved by humans. But for Shirley and I, we really want to make Moricat profitable, so um, we have more resource and money and effort to working on our ideal world, which is improve the cat abundances. Because we do find out there are a lot of misconception about cats that brings people have a lot of low tolerance when
Mm.
they adopting a cat, or that like some people they don't understand, they have misunderstanding or mis expectation about cat. They bring the cat home, they need to abandon them or give away. They feel bad about themselves, even though they are nice people,
Hmm.
but it's just not fit into their lifestyle. So they give it away. They feel bad, and also it's bad for the cat. So we really want to working on solving that problem. But I want to separate the business from the dream
I
because
get
I
you.
don't want to mix that up.
Wow. Thank you very much. You've shared lots of insights with us about, female founders from cross-cultural background, things that you've learned, and, things we wish to erase, and so many things like that. So thank you very much for coming. And for those that are watching, thank you, and see you at the next episode.